Hey guys, what's up? It's McNeil from Louisa Automotive, and today's video is going to be basically about when is the best time to buy your inventory. So if you're a new dealer and you want to know what is a sweet spot, like, what's the best time of year to buy cars and stock up on inventory, this is what we're going to get a little bit deeper in today. Again, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I think last that I checked, the back end, probably about 20 or 21% of you guys are subscribers. So if you do enjoy our content and continue to watch our content, hit that subscribe button so we can just get over that 1,000 threshold. Appreciate you. And don't forget, the video is sponsored by me. So go to louisa.ca and get your wipers. This is going to be the easiest money you've ever made in terms of the odds here, because the promotion is going to last till December 31st. If you buy wipers between now and December 31st, you will get a chance to win $500. Now, last that I checked, I believe we only had about 5 or 6 sales so far, so the odds are in your favor. So hey, pop on there and get some wipers if you feel lucky. You need those wipers anyway. They're great wipers. They're perfectly well priced, so by all means check them out. Now let's get into the video here today. So in my experience, when you're buying your inventory, I like to stock up near the end of year. So we can get into that in a little bit more details so you can understand if your situation will allow you to do that. Now, if you're playing with your own money, it's normally a good idea to buy cars going into the end of November and the first week of December, and pretty much the whole of December. Auctions tend to have lots of promotion, like they may reduce their buying fee and all kinds of fees because they want to encourage dealers to buy cars around that time of year. Dealers are trying to manage the cash flow end of year, whether paying our employees bonus, paying their rent, their bills at the end of the year when business tends to be a little bit slower, because car sales seem to be a little bit slower in December, generally speaking. It's off season. So, vehicles that sells, like pickup trucks and stuff that people need all year round, like workers and stuff, would probably still sell. But then, hobby cars like this GTA I'm driving, or any kind of sports car, there's a lot of other cars that tend to do really bad around this time of year. So the bottom line is car sales are down, dealers need cash, dealers are selling off their inventory. So if you are a retail customer and you want to buy a car end of year, maybe you'll get a good deal as well. So because dealers are selling the cars a little bit cheaper, if you have your own money, it's kind of nice to buy cars around November, December, knowing that you will stock up the cars for next year. So you know that you're prepared to sell those cars for next year. And why I keep saying is only if you're playing with your own money is because obviously if you use the next year AFC, any kind of dealer finance to get your inventory, you do not really want to be stocking them now, because yes, you'll be paying less for the cars, but the 2 months is going to take you to sit on those cars for next year's season, because even maybe a little bit into January is not the busiest either. You're going to be paying interest and fees on that car. So if you're financing your inventory, this is not for you. You might be one of those that are trying to get rid of your inventory because you don't want to be paying interest on your cars in November, December, that time of year. Okay, so because of people like you who have cars financed, and you're afraid because AFC and next year is going to be like, bitch, you better have my money. So that's why you are going to be selling your inventory for cheap too, because you do not want to pay interest on it. Okay, so that is a good time to buy at the end of year. Now, with that said, what am I doing with my inventory for my inventory update? Now, with what I just said, you would imagine that, okay, well, that makes sense. Then that means I'm equally trying to buy a lot of cars now and stock up my inventory. But unfortunately, it's a little bit different for me. I am not interested in buying and stocking up cars right now. And my reason might be a little bit different. Again, I'm only teaching you and telling you what happens based on my experience with the industry, and you do what you may with the information. You can do whatever you like if it works out for you. But what I'm doing with my inventory is a little bit different, just because, after all, my dealership is on Western Road. And look, last time when the pandemic just started, and I had all my cars there. I do not live close to Western Road, so my shop was broken into twice, when they stole my Honda Accord and they try to get back in there another time later after that. So for that reason, when I'm not around, I try not to have too much inventory packed at the dealership. It's just a liability. I do not have an indoor showroom. All my cars are pretty much parked outside. So because my cars are parked outside, I do not want to have too much inventory. So I know that business will be a little bit slower into November and December, but in spite of that, I'm not trying to stock up an inventory. What I'm trying to do is I'm gonna sell whatever inventory I have, because even in the last video I made, when I talked about selling the Sentra, I did say I was gonna look to buy another little cheap car. But when I started looking at the numbers right now, I'm like, you know what? We're already halfway through November. December, we're gonna close for a couple of days for Christmas. We're gonna close for a couple of days for the New Year. So what's the point of me trying to rush and shop around and buy cars to just have it sitting at the dealership when nobody's there? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sell out whatever sells this year. I'm not pushing to get rid of my inventory at ridiculously cheap prices right now, regardless. But if somebody buys my cars, they buy it. So I'm not trying to overstock, but I'm not trying to put everything on sale yet right now anyway. So the bottom line is whatever sells, I'm just gonna sit on that cash to make sure that we can survive the November and December slow time. And then when we get into the new year, I'm gonna start buying my cars again in the new year, okay? So I really hope you know, you got a little bit of something for that. Now, I think also if you are, there is a little bit of a tax benefit for you. Again, I'm not an accountant or anything, so I shouldn't be telling you how to file your taxes. But there is a tax benefit to buying at the end of year too. Look, keep in mind, let's say you had a really good year and you sold a lot of inventory. That means you also collected a lot of HST. So end of year, you were going to be owing the government HST. You had lots of sales. So a way to reduce that is if you go shopping at the end of year and buy a bunch of inventory that you know will end up being sold next year, because you're doing such a huge purchase, you're going to reduce the amount of HST that you are going to be owing the government for that tax year, okay? Now again, I'm not a tax profession, so this is just my opinion and my experience of how I've seen it work. By all means, talk to your accountant to make sure that that works for you, okay? So that's another benefit of buying your cars at the end of the year. But my situation is a little bit different. Like I saying, I don't feel safe leaving my cars outside based on the location of my dealership throughout the season that I'm closed, and only for that reason I'm not buying and stocking up cars right now. And again, I'm getting a little bit lazy doing this business for a minute now. I don't like cleaning fucking snow in the winter with a bunch of cars. So when you have a lot of cars and I gotta clean snow behind and between and over, it's a lot of fucking work, right? So for me, I don't mind thinning out my business in the winter months, and then as things start to pick up in the spring, I go full hammer, you know, on the business. So this is just my take. This is what I'm doing. It doesn't make it right or wrong, but that's just how I run my business. And hopefully you can learn something from that and decide which is the best way for you to run yours, okay? Anyway, guys, if you made it to the end here, appreciate you. Peace. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, okay?